Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
Welcome, race fans, to the Bluegrass State, and welcome to a Sunday night here with the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series. Welcome to our big finish, I guess you could say, the road to the end with only 4 races left. The Light Electric Company ARCA Menard NEXTGEN Series gets ready to welcome fans to the Bluegrass State tonight from Kentucky Speedway. Once again, thanks for joining us tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Cody Early. Darkside Dave going to be waiting this one out tonight. We're wishing him safe travels tonight as he is ready to join us when we get racing next week at Phoenix. And speaking of Phoenix, that will be the next time we get together. That's right. The Light Electric Company ARCA Menard's K&N Series season starts to wind down, as you see there. Phoenix next week, Texas, and then Kansas to close out the 2020 season. We thank you for joining us wherever you're listening tonight. As you see there, the countdown to fast time qualifying. We continue to get you closer into this evening's racing action, and as always, we thank you for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Well, this has been the story. It has been K.D. Osmond. He has been the man. He has been, let's just say, the guy in charge so far in 2020. And as you see him there rolling out in that number 88 Sundrop machine, he's been dominant. Let's just say that. And you take a look at the speed charts. Well, we don't have our times dialed in there. He has been the quickest as they work on a few more minor changes, getting ready here for a couple of restarts before we get into our fast time qualifying. This is a unique part of the thing that you didn't know. These drivers actually work on these restarts leading into the actual racing itself as we count down to racing here this evening. K.D. Osmond atop of the point standings. He has a 93-point advantage coming into this evening's race. Very, very unique. Very, very dominant, I guess would be the word I was looking for. He has been one of the drivers that has just been on a mission this year. And there you see a little bit of, definitely a pileup out of turn 2. As they continue to sort things out and get things set up for this evening's race. We thank you for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As I mentioned, Darkside Dave going to be joining us next week when we head back to Phoenix with only 3 races to go coming in. We talked about Katie Osmond being the man in charge. He has that 93-point advantage coming in over Lance Yancey. Lance Yancey, the only driver right now in the top 3 without a win. Brian Mescal Jr., after his tough luck last week, he's now 123 points out of that top spot. So really, it's up to Lance Yancey. I feel like the rest of the way. Me and Dave talked about that last week at the Roval. I feel like Lance Yancey, if anybody can capitalize, it's going to have to be him. But last week, we saw our points leader, Katie Osmond, have a bad week, but so did Lance Yancey. Not able to capitalize either. He did gain about 6 points all in all when it was said and done, but that's not enough to make up the distance. And with 3 races left, I feel like you're going to have to take advantage of what Katie gives you. And what we've seen so far, Katie just doesn't give you a lot. He gives you the bare minimum when it comes to possibly handing out free points. As we get ready for fast time qualifying, more qualifying rolling at you here from Kentucky. You're listening and watching the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. It is the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series from the Bluegrass States. Here this evening, we get ready for racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Of course, as always, we are excited to bring you more racing coverage as we count down to green here tonight. Of course, these cars out there making final adjustments, making that final preparation as we get ready to go racing this evening across many different aspects of this Kentucky Speedway. You know, we know everybody talks about how rough this racetrack is. This racetrack really starts to roughen things up, especially as tire wear starts to be a big factor, especially as we cruise through. As we see there, Eric Blunt, that number 6 machine, Gordon Larson Jr. in the 01. Now, if you're tuning in and thinking, well, maybe you just missed the start of the race, no. Final round of practice starting to dwindle down. Of course, this race here this evening going to be a very interesting race. I feel like this is one of those kind of tracks to where drivers drivers just kind of feel their way through. 78 degrees is the temperature right now. Track temperature right now, 90 degrees. Where will that play into factor? I think, if anything, it's going to be tire wear. We'll see partly cloudy skies. You see a mix of some sunshine and some clouds this evening here at Kentucky Speedway. So you're going to see kind of a mixed bag as far as the weather goes. But for the most part this evening, going to be a nice evening as we get ready for the Lucky Finn Project 135. And that is brought to you by Ray and Chris Radford here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. Of course, you know, we were originally set to be at Myrtle Beach here this evening. I know Darkside Dave was looking forward to that, even though that is actually where he is on this evening. But some changes were made. They had to go to work on the schedule, and the RFC NEXTGEN Light Electric Company ARCA Series decided to make an adjustment. And that has landed us here at Kentucky Speedway. Now, if you've been with us all season long, we have seen a mix of different winners. The guy that has been, the most common to victory lane has really been Katie Osmond. You take a look at what he's done. He's put 2 wins in the win column this year, but we're on kind of a streak. You have to go all the way back to Katie Osmond's win at Martinsville to find the last repeat winner. Matthew McMeekin picked up one at Darlington. Brandon Mefford, 12th different winner of the season, picked up a win at Irwindale. And then Steve Baker, he picked up his 3rd win of the season. So I guess you could put Steve there in that category for top of the wins list with 3 of them this season. Interesting to see how things shape out. I was looking through the garage a few moments ago, and one of those drivers that we might pay attention tonight is that guy right there. That is Chris Mefford. Mefford in that 84 machine, loving the paint scheme. You know, as we get into the middle of October, breast cancer awareness, definitely love seeing these pink race cars out there on the racetrack. As you take a look at him making some laps, Mefford right now, you see 180 plus almost going into turn 1, making some laps here at Kentucky Speedway. Going to be a lot of fun, going to be a lot of excitement as we count down to fast time qualifying. Looks like up there on that board, we've got about 3 minutes left until these drivers start to go out and put down what hopefully will be the fast laps of the weekend. Right now, Katie Osmond, top of the board. Here's a driver that I would like to see have a big night tonight. We haven't seen a lot out of him this year. That is Thomas Light in that Light Electric Company ARCA number 98 machine. He's had somewhat of a difficult year. Not going to lie, we've seen some opportunities slip through. We've seen him get himself into some incidents. But as we do normally, why don't we take you inside? One of the coolest looks we give you here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. You get the chance to go inside of these race cars, and here's a look at what Thomas Light's seeing as he works around this Kentucky Speedway here in final round of practice. Looks like keeping that wheel pretty steady as he works around this beautiful facility. Glad we did, you know, and I was looking forward to that short track race at Myrtle Beach, but this is one of those tracks, too, that you get an opportunity to see some really good driving. This track is so wide. We're talking wide enough for 3 and 4 wide racing. But, you know, we see our drivers working through this final round of practice. It's a track that can fool you. You get comfortable, and then all of a sudden things start to go away. As we see there right now, that is one of our top rookies in point standings right there. That is Jimmy Hetrick. Hetrick comes into this race as far as the point standings go, finds himself 14th overall in championship points in that number 48 Ally Chevrolet. Pretty solid race. He's had some pretty solid runs. A couple of times this year thought he was going to bring home top 5s, but things didn't pan out the way that he hoped. One of the other drivers we talked about in our opening there, Lance Yancey, up against that outside retaining wall. Looks like he's having some trouble taking it to the infield in that 77 machine. And right there is his teammate. Of course, teammate in the stable at Dirty Air Racing. That's Brian Mescal Jr. He comes in 3rd in points, but I really feel like the deficit that he's got himself in, 123 points out of that top spot. We still have 3 races to go, yes, but that is a steep mountain to climb. Well, we're getting you ready. We're getting you set up. We're getting you ready for fast time qualifying. And fast time qualifying here in the RFC NEXTGEN Light Electric Company ARCA Series is what we have got coming up next. Qualifying from Kentucky. It's on the way.
Just to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
all done with. What amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit grass sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is Howley down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Leonard drives it back down underneath and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the Parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. It is the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series on a Sunday night here from Kentucky. We're ready for the Lucky Finn Project 135. Fast time qualifying is where we turn our attention now, and we get ready to see who is going to be able to go to the top of the charts first. And, of course, that quick time qualifying each week, it has been very important. A lot of these drivers, I feel like the track position has been key for them as we go to the track right away. Lance Yancey goes up onto the racetrack first. We'll see what kind of times he can wheel in that number 77 machine working around this Kentucky Speedway. We see him roar off of turn number 2. See that groove right there at the bottom of the racetrack? These drivers, you're going to see that line, and you're going to see about another line up as they work around this speedway. You're going to see multiple grooves of racing, but there you see Lance Yancey right above that black line. You fade up here into the front straightaway and then come across to the start-finish line. Lance Yancey's first time going to go on the board. We'll see what he does on lap number 1. Put him sixth quick as Steve Baker. There you see that 55 Navy machine. He is quickest right now on the clock as he comes around for lap number 2. A 30.94 was what he had. Oh, and into the outside retaining wall. That will most definitely slow that 55 machine down. So there you go. Steve Baker, lap number 2, not as quick. And the guy right now on the point, there we go. New fast time. You've seen it there, only for a moment. Now Troy Radford will go to the top of the board. Dustin Ping ran a 30.91 on lap 1. We'll follow Dustin now as he works off of turn number 3 and 4 onto the front straightaway here at Kentucky Speedway. His second lap, can he go any quicker? Looking to beat a 30.89, lap number 2. No, 30.975. Not enough to take Troy Radford off the top of the board. There is Brian Snare, the Victory Junction number 45 machine, roaring down the back straightaway. We'll see exactly what he's got as he goes down into turns 3 and 4. Oh, you start to see the back of that car work a little loose. We'll see if Snare can do anything, and he's going to bring it in. So Brian Snare tickled with his second quick time. And here we go, Falcon Motorsports, Tyler Hilton there. Looks like he's shutting the car down as well. Hilton's 7th quickest. So we'll try to find somebody, and we do. Thomas Light's out on the racetrack. Light Electric Company, ARCA Menards, number 98 machine. We'll go inside of that number 98 machine and follow him around as he gets up to speed. Thomas Light, 10th quickest so far in qualifying. We'll see what he can do here on lap number 2. See the elevation difference in this racetrack. He's going to come up just as high as he can, almost get up there and touch that wall, and he'll come across the start-finish line for his second lap. It goes up on the board. We'll see what Thomas Light can do. He improves by 1. He goes 30.984. 30.984 for Thomas Light. You'll put him 9th quickest out of this group. Looking to see some of the other drivers out on the racetrack. Looks like as far as moving goes, oh, and Roy Hyde looks like he's going to conclude. I think we just missed that backwards qualifying lap. Looks like that 00 is going to pull down to the bottom. And we're going to bring Mark Vyers out onto the racetrack. Mark Vyers out in that number 3 machine. Mark supporting some new colors this week. Of course, racing out of the stables. of Hammerdown Motorsports in that number 3 car. Looks like he's going to come for his first lap. And by the way, new fast time. Dustin German has went to the top of the board. He goes 30.88. 30.88 for Dustin German. Still haven't seen, let's see, KD Osmond. Don't see KD. Oh, here he is, 20th. 20th for KD Osmond, only run a 31.43, so not the best qualifying effort for KD. Mark Vyers is who we've got on the screen right now, making his qualifying lap. A little loose off of 4. Into the apron. It looks like it's going to go into the outside retaining wall. Oh, and what a save. The announcer tried to go ahead and just end that lap, but man, oh man, that 3-car made a good save. That's going to keep the crew from having to do any extra work as he slows it down. You see Douglas Saki there. He's coming into pit road out of Falcon Motorsports. So things are starting to wind down now. Looks like we've got some drivers setting on the racetrack, but for the most part, looks like everybody is calming down. Their qualifying lap officially about halfway through right now. You see Dustin German. He is atop of the board. He's got a 30.88. 30.88 for Dustin German. That has him at the top of the speed charts right now. We will see if anybody else is willing to go out there and take quick time. Right now, 23 drivers have took a quick time. So we will see if anybody else is able to get out there and make a quick time, or they're going to be able to leave Dustin German out on the top of the speed charts. As we wait to see if anybody else is going to make an attempt, we will take a commercial break. More racing from Kentucky Speedway. It's the Light Electric Company, ARCA Menards K&N Series, here from the Kentucky Speedway. Welcome back, race fans, to Kentucky Speedway. You are watching the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menards Series on your home for everything speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are back here at Kentucky Speedway as we get ready for tonight's Lucky Finn Project 135. We are down to the final 4 races of the 2020 season. Can you believe that? It has flew by. Right now, it's time to go trackside for our opening ceremonies and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so
but it gets my blood pumping every time I hear that song and every time I see those jets fly over. Kentucky Speedway, that is where we are. It is time to go racing on a Sunday night. It is the RFC NEXTGEN Light Electric Company ARCA Series, and we are ready to go with tonight's Lucky Finn Project 135. Hello, everyone. I am Cody Early, in by myself tonight. Yeah, hopefully going to keep you entertained through the evening. Right now, what do you say we introduce tonight's starting lineup? And, of course, that lineup looks like this. Dustin German goes out and sets the quick time. That's right, German goes quick time out of North Carolina. To his outside, it will be Troy Radford in that 49. The inside of row number 2, it'll be Brian Snare at his 45. Dustin Ping, fourth quickest in that number 1. He'll go a fourth. J.R. Hager in his 28 car, he'll roll off in the inside of row number 3. Chris Medford to his outside in that 84 machine. Steve Baker, 3-time winner this year on the series. Right now, he will start on the outside of row number 4, inside of row number 4 in that 7th spot in his number 55 machine, of course, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. To his outside, row number 4, it'll be the 98 Light Electric Company of Thomas Light, rolling off in the 10th spot. Inside in the 11th spot behind him, it'll be the 83 of Brandon Medford, Matthew McMeekin. He's going to roll off in the 12th spot. It'll be Doug Wasaki in his number 34 machine, and Lance Yancey in that 77 to make up row number 7. Row number 8, Derek Robinson, and outside of him in the number 6 machine, that will be Eric Blunt. Rolling off 17th, Gordon Larson Jr. To his outside, the number 10 of Melvin Young. Rolling off in row number 10, it'll be Michael Mason-Gill in the number 4. And our points leader, late, way back there in the field tonight, 88 of Katie Osmond. We'll see what he can do coming from 20th. 21st will be the number 7 of Brian Kaufman. Mark Byers will roll off 22nd. 23rd, the 00 of Roy Hyde Jr. Brian Littleton, 24th. Travis Smith and his number 9 machine will roll off 25th. It'll be Brian Mescal Jr., 26. And there we go. We'll scroll through the rest of the field as we get ready to go racing tonight from the Bluegrass State. Want to welcome each and every one of you here to Kentucky Speedway. Of course, we all know the point standings and how they shake out right now. Katie Osmond is the man of the hour. He is the guy everybody is following coming into this evening. We will see how things shake out as we go way atop here tonight from Kentucky Speedway. Are you ready to go racing, fans? We are ready. The Lucky Finn 135 getting ready to go green. There you see the front row. Dustin German, Troy Radford creeping down the front straightaway here at Kentucky. It's time to go green in the Bluegrass State on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Green flag flies, and there we go, diving off down into turn number 1. Dustin German with a little bit of advantage. He'll pull out in those Valvoline colors and work to the bottom of the racetrack. There you see a side-by-side battle. Brian Snare stack them up 2 by 2 there as 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th go at it down the back straightaway. Brian Snare on the inside. To his outside, that is Troy Radford. Gives Snare the advantage, and here comes the 28 of J.R. Hager, almost 3 wide on lap number 1. Coming across the line this time, it will be Dustin German. He is going to lead lap number 1 here from Kentucky of our 135 that will make up the show. But right now, all the attention's on this gaggle of cars for 2nd place. J.R. Hager to the bottom. He works underneath of Brian Snare. Snare in that Victory Junction number 45 machine. Now you look on back. Steve Baker now starting to make a little bit of headway if he starts to work underneath the 49 of Troy Radford. Radford who initially started on the front row. That battle you're watching on your screen, that is for 5th and 6th as they work around this racetrack here at Kentucky Speedway. Only the final 4 races of the 2020 season. Of course, originally, as we mentioned, supposed to be at Myrtle Beach tonight. Some schedule changes brought us here to Kentucky. And right now, the battle we got on your screen is for that 4th and 5th spot as a swap up into the 2nd spot. Looks like J.R. Hager's taking that 28 machine out to the 2nd spot. There you see him work around Brian Snare, put Hager into position number 2. But they're all following the guy out front right now, and that's the guy on your screen. That is Dustin German. German in that 52 Valvoline machine, the Mark Martin throwback look. Absolutely love that as he works off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. take a look back here just a few moments ago. We'll go back on our Turn 3 Racing Network. Looks like some cars might have actually had some trouble early in this race, and no caution flag flew. Looks like some drivers have already went to pit road. Damon Cox has went to pit road. Looks like Brian Mescal Jr., not sure if there was an incident that might have taken place there, but we'll have to see if we can't find out some more details on that. Working around here at Kentucky Speedway. There you see him roaring down the back straightaway. Battle now. Looks like Steve Baker and Dustin Ping having a little bit of a battle down the back straightaway. No, they've straightened it out. And Dustin Ping, well, falls behind Steve Baker. Looking a couple more spots back. Here we go. Falcon Motorsports, the number 84 of Chris Mefford. Looks like Daryl Ricketts might be having some trouble. See what's going on. He is in pit road, so not sure what exactly happened there with that 42 machine. Yeah, there you see him get up and into that outside retaining wall and go straight towards the pit road. So some trouble there for Daryl Ricketts. Looks like he's already had to pull into pit road. Dustin German now working around, and the caution flag is out. Caution flag will fly on lap number 7. As we were starting to get those camera angles figured back out. Exactly what might have happened. The yellow flag flies. We'll see if we can't find out. Turn 3 Racing Network replay. Like that was as the caution came out. Looks like Jimmy Hetrick might have had some issue. Oh, yeah, contact there. Doug Wasaki. And, I mean, just locked on to the back of that 48 machine, and around goes Jimmy Hetrick. Good thing is, doesn't look like from that angle that Jimmy Hetrick hit anything. We'll see if we can't get a better look at it from the blimp angle. Yeah, Doug Wasaki just all in the back bumper of that 48 machine. Not really sure what might have led up to that. See if maybe we can get a different camera angle. See the Doug Wasaki machine. Yeah, just simply into the rear end of that 48 machine. Nonetheless, the caution flag has flown, and we are under caution here from Kentucky Speedway. You are watching the Light Electric Company, ARCA Menards, K&N Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll take a break, and we will be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. There you see the iRacing pace truck, Silverado pace truck, leading the field around as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here from Kentucky. Of course, just a few moments ago, we saw that incident between Jimmy Hetrick and Doug Wasaki. Belleville, Michigan's Doug Wasaki 34 machine and Jimmy Hetrick in that 48 machine. Not exactly sure what led to that, but evidently something led to that, what we saw just moments ago. We'll see how things shake out as we get ready to go back green. Shout out to the folks checking out the YouTube broadcast. Mitchell Snare's on there. Linda Haney is on there. Hello to you all. Thanks for checking out the video. If you're watching tonight live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, feel free to give a shout out. It is Cody hanging out with you in the booth. Darkside Dave, of course, not in with us this evening as we're getting ready to go back racing. He will be back with us as we get ready to go racing next week. Of course, we have really came down to the conclusion of this 2020 season. We'll be in Phoenix next week. Dustin German, J.R. Hager make up the front row as we get ready to go back racing. 10 laps in the books. Coming to lap number 11 this time. Dustin German's on the loud pedal, and we're back green at Kentucky. Good restart there for the leader, Dustin German. You already see him go side by side. Brian Snare there in that 45 machine. He has got Troy Radford to his outside. Steve Baker there behind him. Also, you see further on back, there's Matthew McMeekin. McMeekin, a big winner this year at Darlington. He's got company. Here comes Tyler Hilton. Hilton, check out. I love the Halloween paint scheme on that number 82 machine. He works on the bottom groove here of the racetrack at Kentucky Speedway. As you see him work driving through the tri-oval here at Kentucky. And there's that Tyler Hilton number 82 machine right now making his way up into the 7th spot. Of course, Hilton got his first career win earlier this year. He did so at Talladega, the big restrictor plate track, but for the moment, right now finds himself in that 7th spot. Working around the speedway, there is Dustin German. He's got some company. Here comes J.R. Hager. Hager in that 28 machine works to the bottom. We'll see a battle for the lead for the first time this evening. Here they come, start-finish line, but it's going to be Dustin German going to hang on for this 13th lap. Oh, and I'm hearing some trouble for second place in points. Lance Yancey. Yeah, that's the replay just moments ago. Lance Yancey went in through the infield. See what kind of contact we had there just off of the nose of the number 7 of Brian Kaufman and Lance Yancey. Seeing what happened to him, that's going to put him way back mirrored right now in 28th. Speaking of which, and while we were taking a look at that replay, we have a new leader. New leader, it looks like J.R. Hager going to make the pass for the lead. Hager's going to go out front. Just made the pass on Dustin German, so now new guy out front. That is J.R. Hager showing the way. Still plenty of laps to go in this one. We showed you just a little bit earlier as far as what we were looking at temperature-wise. Absolutely a beautiful afternoon here at Kentucky Speedway. 77 degrees, partly cloudy. Track temps 86 right now, so actually looking a little cooler than what we were expecting. As you see there on your screen, J.R. Hager, second place there, Dustin German. They have been the two that have been showing the way so far here in the Lucky Finn Project 135 from Kentucky. Go back there to third place. That is Troy Radford right now riding in third place pretty comfortable with Brian Snare, and there's Steve Baker, Matthew McMeekin, Tyler Hilton. And just off in the distance, here's a battle. Chris Mefford and Derek Robinson. That is for 8th and 9th on the racetrack right now. That battle for 8th and 9th around this Kentucky Speedway as we show you live coverage. Yes, if you're joining us on the YouTube channel live tonight, from Kentucky Speedway, it is Cody in the booth tonight. Normally I'm with my buddy Darkside Dave, but Darkside Dave tonight on his way back from Myrtle Beach. Coincidentally enough, I think he planned that. We were supposed to be racing tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway, but just so happened to be it didn't work out the way we thought it would. Here's a battle now. Matthew McMeekin goes underneath Steve Baker. Put McMeekin up into the top 5 in that 24 Navy machine as he gets around the Navy 55 of Steve Baker. Starting to see these drivers start working around this humongous Kentucky Speedway. I love this racetrack. Love the fact that this is one of the bumpiest tracks on the circuit. And I say that, we'll see if we can't go inside with the guy you're watching right there, the 24 of Matthew McMeekin. just kind of find that comfortable balance. Find that comfortable balance of who you want to be in the turns and who you don't want to be. And that's because of the comfort level on the throttle. As you see there, McMeekin 153, 150 mile an hour through the center of the turns as he comes up to the tri-oval and works through right in front of us here at the tower. You see what kind of laps these cars are turning. And right now we're going to go back up to the front. Looks like we might have a battle for the lead starting to warm up as Dustin German now starting to get a little closer to the back bumper of J.R. Hager as they go down the back straightaway. Just as I say that, it looks like Hager is going to put a little bit of distance between him and German. As we take a look through the field, there you go. The leader of the 28 machine starting to get some company again. Here comes Dustin German. Gets a really good run off of turn 4. Is he able to do anything with it through the tri-oval? No, he does not. As lap number 20 starts to put itself on the board. And here comes a guy just slowly sneaking into this picture. That 49 of Troy Radford. We haven't talked about Troy much this year, but he is slowly starting to creep his way into the picture here early in this one from Kentucky Speedway. As you see Radford there closing up on the back bumper of that number 52 of Dustin German. And then right back there in the picture too, here's Brian Snare. And you know, we talked about McMeekin making that pass on Steve Baker a few moments ago. McMeekin's in that 5th spot. He's about to have some company because here comes Tyler Hilton. And Baker must be losing some momentum in that 55 machine. He is starting to drop back. He is on the tail end of possibly being out of the top 10. Right now, Baker's all the way back to 8th spot. And here comes Derek Robinson in that 38 machine starting to apply a little bit of pressure. Robinson working the high side. Yeah, getting close, getting that momentum off of turn 4. As these drivers continue to put laps down. Oh, and into the outside retaining wall. That time a little too high for Derek Robinson. That's going to put Thomas Light into that 9th spot. That's going to drop, looks like Derek, back to the 10th spot. As there you see your top 10 cars. Go back a little further. There's a guy creeping into the picture. That is Brandon Medford in that 83 machine. Another one of those beautiful Falcon Motorsports. Man, oh man, why not? Let's go 3 wide out of turn 4. No, Medford thinks better of it. He's going to dive down to the bottom. Thomas Light continuing there to show the way in front of these two. This is the battle on your screen for 9th, 10th, and 11th. That is the battle we got on your screen right now. Those three starting to sort it out for that 9th spot as we close in on lap number 24 being in the books. By the way, why don't we just make it the battle for 8th? They've closed up on the back bumper of Steve Baker, and now you see this battle. It's a 4-car race now, and really all the way up to 7th because just in front of them is Chris Medford. So here we go. Thomas Light gets underneath the back of that 55 machine. Yeah, I think Steve Baker may be patiently waiting for that first round of pit stops. And a guy that we talked about just a few moments ago in the opening ceremonies about being mirrored back in the pack. There you see KD Osmond. KD starting to make his presence known as he is driving towards the top 10 right now. Finds himself in the 12th spot just behind this battle in front of him. But it's all happening behind that guy, J.R. Hager. He is showing the way here at Kentucky Speedway. 25 circuits in the book so far. He took the lead away from Dustin German earlier in this one and has not looked back for the most part. He had a little bit of a challenge there from Dustin German, but now it looks like he might have a challenge from a new driver in the top 3. This is Troy Radford. He's gotten around German here in the last couple of laps, and now that 49 machine will start to try to reel in our leader, Dustin German, as we put lap number 26 on the board. They continue to work around this speedway here at Kentucky. All kinds of exciting racing. We take a look. We went through the top 10. Let's take a look back now. This right here is the battle for 14th and 15th. Cody Terry and Gordon Larson Jr. Right there coming into your screen too. That is Brian Littleton as these drivers work it around the racetrack here at Kentucky Speedway. Wonder where some of our top 3 in the points are. Well, our points leader right now, Katie Osmond. You see him right there in that 88 machine, currently first in the points. Coming into this, he had a 93-point advantage over Lance Yancey. Unfortunately, Lance, There you see him. He's mirrored all the way back in 25th, so not really what Lance wanted coming into this event. Third place in points. You may even classify him as out of the championship race now, unfortunately. That's Brian Mescal Jr. There he is coming into this event. Brian Mescal Jr., 123 points out of that top spot, with this being the first of 4 races to close things out. And speaking of which, there you see, as we race around this speedway, bottom right side of your turn, that is what's left. Believe it or not, after we leave Kentucky, that is it. Phoenix next week, Texas, and then Kansas will close out the 2020 RFC Next Gen Light Electric Company ARCA Menard season. Crazy to believe the season has wound down that quickly. But right now, that is the man crossing the stripe 29 laps in of the 135 that make up all the action here from Kentucky Speedway. We'll take a break and we'll come back. More racing from Kentucky on the Turn 3 Racing Network. This is the Light Electric Company ARCA Menard K&N Series.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
You're watching the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Your home for everything e-speed. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. There it is. The battle for the lead is on your screen. J.R. Hager out front, but man, oh man, he's got a ton of company. When you take a look at Troy Radford, he is prowling for the top spot. Those are the top 2 right now, and you see them on your screen here at Kentucky Speedway. They battle down into turns 3 and 4, cruising around this racetrack. Radford, while we were gone on commercial break, really started to close the gap, but was not able to capitalize that last time around on a great run on a turn 4, and there he goes. Gets another good run off of turn 1 and dives to the middle of the turn, and he works his way down. You see J.R. Hager, he's running what I call that traditional Kevin Harvick line. Runs right around the bottom of this speedway here in Kentucky, and J.R. Hager, once again, see he floats down to the bottom, almost about a groove higher this time than he was last time, and that's going to give a huge run for Troy Radford. Radford's going to make a run off of turn 4. Radford dives down into the tri-oval and now works his way once again. He's going to see if he can take a different line. Now he's going to go high. Now J.R. Hager, look at this. He makes a different line going into 1 and 2 where he has been the last couple of laps, and that's going to bring Troy Radford even closer. We'll go on board with the driver of the number 49 as he works the battle for the lead. There you see it on your screen. That is going to be the battle for the lead, and it looks like it's going to go to Troy Radford. No, he's going to keep the high side. J.R. Hager is going to battle now. This battle coming on lap 35, 100 circuits still to go. You're riding there with our leaders, J.R. Hager and Troy Radford, side by side for the last 2 laps. Who's it going to be this time around? A little bit of momentum there for Radford. He'll work the outside. I do believe that outside momentum may bring him to the stripe first. Oh, it looks like Hager's coming to pit road. J.R. Hager gives up the lead, and he goes to the pit road. So we'll see if that's going to bring any of our other leaders in. Thomas Light looks like he's coming in as well. So we're starting to see some green flag pit stops, and in the meantime, that is going to put the lead into the hands of Troy Radford for the moment. Radford working around turns 3 and 4, has the lead now over Tyler Hilton. Doesn't look like Radford's going to come in this time. You go all the way back. There's Tyler Hilton. So Hilton has made up a lot of ground on this last run in that number 82 machine. Loving the Halloween-themed colors on the side of that 82 machine of Tyler Hilton. There's his teammate, Troy Radford, just in front of him as they work around lap 37, pit road. Right now, Derek Robinson, Brian Kaufman, J.R. Hager, Dustin German's on pit road. Mark Vyers and Dale Ricketts. Of course, Ricketts had some trouble earlier in the evening. Right now, Troy Radford works out of 3 and 4. Looks like he is going to stay on the racetrack for another circuit. So neither of the top 2, nor there's Brian Snare, the top 3, go in this time. Once again, we'll see what kind of pit strategy's going on. Right now, 37 laps on the leader's tires, so really no advantage for anybody right now in the top 10. But there's the guy. That's the man of the hour right now. Troy Radford showing the way as he took the lead from J.R. Hager. Hager went to pit road, and we'll see now if we get any of our leaders to come to pit road this time by. Looks like he is. Here comes Troy Radford. Here comes Tyler Hilton. Also, it looks like the 45 of Snare, and McMeekin's going to take the lead. Matthew McMeekin will take over command of the race, and behind him, here comes your points leader, K.D. Osmond. He's rallied up into that second spot, started way back in 20th. So we will see as this pit cycle works its way around who will be able to stay in charge. 39 laps coming to 40 this time by the 135 that make up our main event here this evening. And there we see McMeekin in, and that's going to hand the lead over to K.D. Osmond. K.D. will take command here of the Lucky Finn Project 135 at Kentucky. Lap 40 goes up on the board. Lap 40 on the board this time by. We continue to see the pit cycles work out as there is Roy Hyde. He's going to be in second now. You kind of look at that pit strategy. There you see it. Of course, Roy, Brian Maskell Jr., Travis Smith, Dustin Ping, Rick Reinert, they all have tires, and it looks like here comes Roy coming in now. So that's going to put Roy Hyde, Brian Maskell Jr., and also, no, Travis Smith's going to stay out. Love that number 9 ride. Check that out. That is Travis Smith's number 9 Mopar machine. Love the paint scheme on that car that he brings. And I think we've got K.D. Osmond on pit road now. Yeah, so K.D.'s on pit road. So Travis Smith, our leader right now. Behind him, Dustin Ping. Doug Wasaki's in the third spot. So we start to see those pit stops under green start to shake out. And here comes Troy Radford. He's going to get himself back to the lead lap, so wouldn't be surprised to see him here in the next few laps possibly regain the lead. Losing a lot of momentum right now. Travis Smith staying out on the racetrack, just possibly trying to get some seat time out front. Now Tyler Hilton's going to come right to the back bumper of the 9. Travis Smith moves up, and Hilton's going to come through. He'll unlap himself the hard way. Currently, right now, we have 7 cars on the lead lap. Your first car 1 lap down will be that 98 there of Thomas Light, and it looks like he is coming to the back bumper of Travis Smith as well, and he's going to unlap himself. So I think here for too long, we're going to start to see that number 9, and of course that number 1 of Dustin Ping, which is second. You're going to have to start seeing those drivers come to coming to pit road here soon, because they are giving up a ton of time to your leaders. There you see Ping on your screen in that number 1 machine. Dustin Ping out of Columbia, Indiana. Right now, it's going to be the trick for him is finding a way to the bottom of the racetrack. Travis Smith, they're running him out of groove up from the bottom. You got all these fast cars hugging the yellow line here at Kentucky. You got to think either they're wanting a caution or they're trying to just hold on to everything they got, because I was looking at the pit road strategy and everybody else is pretty much evened out. But this is the battle for the lead right now. Travis Smith and Dustin Ping looking for those drivers to come to pit road possibly at any minute here from Kentucky Speedway. But right now they are in an onslaught from much faster cars trying to get themselves from being 1 lap down. You see our points leader, K.D. Osmond. Now Dustin Ping, he's going for the lead off of turn 4. Leader number 3 of the event, Dustin Ping, goes out front, and he's going to take the advantage over Travis Smith as lap number 45 goes on the board. J.R. Hager is going to be the first car that has been to pit road, and there he is. He's coming off of turn number 4 right now. So a good ways back for J.R. Hager, but you got to be thinking Dustin Ping, Travis Smith need to be coming to pit road anytime soon. It looks like Ping's going to be slowing down. So bring that number 1 machine to pit road. Dustin Ping's going to give up the lead, and 1 driver left. Once we get Travis Smith to pit road, that will wrap up this round of green flag pit stops. 46 laps complete. 1 caution so far in the event. Happened a little bit earlier. Other than that, we have been green flag racing, and right now that is the guy out front, Travis Smith, and that number 9 machine working around this Kentucky Speedway. Pretty smooth and pretty solid. Looks like he's going to come to pit road now. Travis Smith woes it down, and that is going to put the full cycle on our green flag pit stops, which gives the lead back to this man when he comes around this time as he works down the back straightaway. That is J.R. Hager out front. Second place right there is Dustin German. And third place is Troy Radford, and he is right there with him. Tyler Hilton in the 4th spot, a little ways back there in the middle of 3 and 4, now working off of turn number 4. And there we have it. J.R. Hager will go to the lead here at Kentucky Speedway. You are watching the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series from Kentucky Speedway on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. More racing from Kentucky on the way next.
Outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
To the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press. What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into 2nd place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that 2nd spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. It's the Light Electric Company ARCA Menards K&N Series here from the Bluegrass state of Kentucky, and you're watching everything live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks for hanging out with us. There you see our leader. That is J.R. Hager, and he's about to be under some pressure. Here comes Troy Radford. Radford worked around Dustin German there a few laps ago, and right now it looks like it is J.R. Hager holding on to the point as we work lap 51 here from Kentucky Speedway. Once again, a shout out to all the folks watching on the YouTube channel, seeing you all pop on and comment there. Thanks for joining us here from this beautiful facility, the Kentucky Speedway. Battle for the lead now once again starting to heat up. You see Troy Radford. He gets such a good run on the back bumper of that 28 machine. Troy Radford starting to apply the pressure now. Going for the lead again. J.R. Hager dives back down. We'll go on board with that 49 machine as he tries to work once again towards the front of the field. Looks like our cameras got us on board with our leader, J.R. Hager. Right now, he works the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see if we can't switch over to Troy Radford. There is the leader right in front of him. Radford's going to go to the outside. Radford going to make the move. We'll see if he can get it complete as he comes off of turn 4 at the stripe. Oh, too close to call. They're saying Radford might have had it by, I don't know. We're talking about maybe a quarter of the nose of that car, but right now Radford has the momentum. Battle for the lead. Turns down turn 2 and down the back straightaway. 49's going to have the advantage. Radford, J.R. Hager dives that car all the way to the bottom. But the momentum you got to think is going to be with the 49 car on the outside. Carries that momentum up high off of turn 4. Turns that thing back down to the left. And there you go. Momentum on the high side. Troy Radford back out to the point. Radford this year, only one win. Crazy to believe he's only been to victory lane one time this year. He went to victory lane at Dover, his 6th career win in the series. And right now, showing the point, has a very impressive race car. This is the 2nd time we've seen him out front. Of course, a look at your top 10 right now. We'll give you that as you look on your screen. Troy Radford out front. 2nd place there is J.R. Hager. You go back to our 3rd place running car. That is Tyler Hilton in the 82 machine out of Falcon Motorsports. Dustin German there, as we mentioned, loving the throwback from Dustin German out of North Carolina. Running in the 5th spot, Brian Snare there in that number 45 machine. Good to see Brian back on the racetrack out of Virginia. Chris Mefford, a little ways back to him there in that number 84 machine. Chris, of course, he's had a pretty solid year out of Knightstown, Indiana. Of course, Chris this year, winner at Richmond to get the year started, or 2nd race of the year. And, of course, he was a winner at Chicagoland. Matthew McMeekin there in that number 24 machine. McMeekin out there turning some laps in the top 10. The 98 of Thomas Light, he's under a little bit of pressure. Cody Terry right now in the 9th spot. We see him in that number 22 machine. Good to see Cody Terry having a pretty solid run tonight. Rounding out your top 10 for the moment, Brandon Mefford, because he is under all kinds of pressure. Katie Osmond's going to go to the bottom, trying to hunt for the top 10. That is a look at your top 10 and how they run right now, as we'll stay with this battle on your screen. The battle on your screen, that is Mefford hanging on to the 10th spot, but he's got some pressure now from the current points leader. And right now, the way things are shaking out, looking at Lance Yancey back there in 19th, not really a good way to capitalize. KD's not been inside of the top 5 throughout this race. Other than that, well, we did have that one long green flag run for those green flag pit stops. KD did cycle around, so I can't say he hasn't been in the top 5. But here we go, coming to 3 wide at the line. I don't know that KD wants to see this in front of him, regardless of where Lance Yancey might be running. But for the most part, he finds himself mirrored right back here in that 11th spot. See there on the bottom right side of your screen, the battle for 10th. The 83 car of Cody Terry in that 10th spot. A little bit of a bump, shot in the shorts there. Brandon Mefford shoves him into turn 3, but that may have just helped out Katie Osmond more than anything. Has put Osmond up into the 9th spot as they rotate now. And as I say that, into the 10th spot was Katie Osmond. Was waiting for our leaderboard there to shift. Oh, not sure what might have happened. Seeing Tyler Hilton there dropping. Not sure what happened there. Is trouble? Don't see Hilton on the screen. May have been some trouble there for Tyler Hilton. Don't know exactly what might have happened. I don't see anything popping up on the screen, but there you see our leader. That is Troy Radford. Yeah, we've seen the 82 machine of Tyler Hilton just completely drop off the chart. Not sure what happened there. No caution flag flown. Officials aren't calling anything on that, so we will stay green. And this guy right here showing the way. That is Troy Radford coming to lap number 61, working on the back bumper there, the number 4 of Michael Mason-Gill. He is in the 27th spot as the leaders start to approach. A little bit of lap traffic. Now, Troy has taken the lead, and he took the lead pretty handfully against Hager, but Hager's not really went anywhere. You see that gap? He is right there. So interesting to see how these two will shake out, but right now they definitely look like the two cars to beat for the most part here on the racetrack. Another close battle. We go back to Brandon Mefford. Him and Katie Osmond and Cody Terry was having a pretty good battle just a few moments ago. Looks like that may have shaken itself out. As you see now, just back there, a couple of spots back, Derek Robinson. Robinson there in that 38 machine. He's hunting for the top 10. Cody Terry right in front of him. That is for that 10th spot. Further on back, you wonder where Steve Baker went. Well, there's Steve. Not sure what happened in that first long green flag run, but Baker's back into the 15th spot. So definitely some trouble for him in that long green flag run. Had a really good qualifying effort, but since then has faded back here from Kentucky Speedway. So we'll see how things shake out for him through the rest of the event. But right now, it's all this guy, Troy Radford. Falcon Motorsports, yeah, they starting to whip around lap traffic. Man, oh man, they had a ton of speed there. Look like coming up on the back bumper of Gary Ragland, flying around the outside of turns 1 and 2. But it is Radford showing the way, ticking these laps down. 64 this time by, 64 laps. Going to be up on the board. Still not sure what might have happened to Tyler Hilton's. Maybe we'll get a little bit of maybe some information, see what might have happened. We said Tyler Hilton was on the screen, then all of a sudden just simply disappeared. So not sure if some trouble for Hilton or not, but he is completely off the racetrack. So kind of shocked to see him kind of come off the racetrack so soon. But Troy Radford continues to show the way. J.R. Hager there in second. Back to third place. That is Chris Medford, who just got around Dustin German there a few laps ago. They'll put Chris Medford into the top 3. He's got a podium spot right now. Watching more of these drivers work around the racetrack. Go back here to Roy Hyde. This is a pretty good battle. This is for 12th, 13th, and 14th. Roy Hyde allowing Brian Maskell Jr. there to get around the bottom. We showed Brian Maskell Jr. earlier in the race. Third in points coming in. I felt like the way things through the middle of the year, I felt like this 33 machine was going to be one of the drivers that could challenge for that points lead, but just the way things have shaped out here over the last few weeks. A couple of DNFs have really hurt that 33 machine. And unfortunately, right now, looks like he is going to be battling Brian Littleton, which, by the way, is the guy right there in front of him for third place in points. Littleton comes in with 5:02. Maskell has 5:09. And then Brandon Medford just behind them. So a really good battle. There's points battles. Other than the top 2, I feel like third place through 10th, we've got a lot of great points racing still to go to finish out this year. Looks like we're starting to see another round of pit stops. Derek Robinson looks like he's brought his 38 HRL Motorsports machine to the pit road. Don't know if that is planned or not, but he is on pit road, going to get some service. But in the meantime, there you see our leader, Troy Radford, showing the way. 67 laps of our 135 that make up the Lucky Finn Project 135 here this evening from Kentucky Speedway. Can't say enough. Ray and Chris Radford, we want to thank them for allowing us to bring this race to you here this evening. Can't thank you enough for watching on the YouTube channel. Can't thank you enough for watching, and I'm getting some word from our official here in the booth, getting some word in my ear that Tyler Hilton's had an electrical issue. So the 82 Falcon Motorsports machine of Tyler Hilton, an electric issue has put him behind the wall. We'll see if we can't get him back on the racetrack. I mean, that will probably end his night as far as winning the event, but some valued points if he can get that number 82 machine back out onto the racetrack. So that is what happened to Tyler Hilton. An electrical issue has put that 82 machine behind the wall. So tough break there for Falcon Motorsports, Tyler Hilton. Tough break for Falcon Motorsports for Hilton, but right now, one of their drivers is showing the way. There you see Troy Radford continuing to show the lead, as right now he starts to work on the back bumper of Melvin Young there in that number 10 machine. Melvin's had a little bit of trouble tonight. He's running back there in the 21st spot. Love the pink numerals on that GoDaddy machine for Melvin Young. One of the rookies that we have here in this series. Of course, one of the other rookies is that guy right there. He was involved in that very first caution. Not sure what happened with him and Doug Wasaki, but right now coming into the event, Jimmy Hetrick in points, I would say he is the highest charging rookie in the point standings, 14th overall coming into this event. So a pretty solid start to the year for Jimmy Hetrick, but they're all following this man. That is Troy Radford, who, as we mentioned, starting to prowl on the back bumper of Melvin Young. 71 laps is what we're now inside with the 135 to make up the distance. Looks like we're possibly closing in on another round of green flag pit stops. There you see that tracker. Radford put 38 laps on his tires the first time around, right now at 32. So about 6 laps possibly away from seeing our leaders on the pit road. And as I say that, looks like one of our top leaders is coming in now, J.R. Hager. Hager is coming to pit road in that 28 machine, so we will see if that possibly turns the hand of Troy Radford, as there you see him working down the back straightaway. Bradford working down to the bottom. Melvin Young going to give him the low line. Doesn't look like that 49 machine's going to turn it to pit road this time. He'll keep that machine out on the racetrack. Now second place behind him, Falcon Motorsports, Chris Mefford. Mefford out there in the second spot. Katie Osmond there in the third spot. He's just had a quiet night, you know. Usually we're talking about KD being involved, but this is the kind of night that scares you if you're second in points following this guy. And the reason I say that is because earlier this year, I want to say it was at Talladega, we had Troy Radford, and we just didn't talk about him at all. But when it was go time, he was there. And, I mean, it was literally just in the blink of an eye, out of nowhere, he was there. Hendon, Virginia driver. Current points leader coming in. A lot of people think that the points may be wrapped up. I feel like Lance Yancey, the only driver that has a chance to get there. But, unfortunately, we talked about Lance's issues here this evening. KD, of course, you know, we talked to him earlier this year. Me and Darkside Dave did about racing, points racing. And he said, you know, right now it's all about points racing. And it is. I mean, as far as the championship goes, it looks like KD's slowing down tremendously. See if we can't get him to come to pit road. That's exactly what he's doing. It looks like the top three are all three in pit road. So that's going to open it up. Possibly here comes Steve Baker. Baker's coming to pit road, so he's going to give the lead to somebody. It's going to be Dustin Ping. Dustin Ping will come around the start-finish line, and he will retake the lead. Kind of feels like deja vu because there's Travis Smith behind him. So it's Dustin Ping showing the way 75 laps into the 135 that make up the Lucky Finn Project 135 here from Kentucky. Of course, the driver on your screen, Dustin Ping out of Columbus, Indiana. Driving that number one machine right now, and you see a couple of HRL Motorsports cars around him. There's Derek Robinson, also Eric Blunt. Blunt, driver out of New York. Of course, love the paint schemes on those machines, and that would be a nightmare, though, if you were a spotter and you see those two cars identical. But right now, we got our cameras locked in on Dustin Ping. He shows the way, and he does so as we've got 76 laps in of our 135 that make up the feature event here at Kentucky Speedway. You're watching the Light Electric Company, Arca Menards K&N Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press.
Saved it.
What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is howling down to the inside.
I tried, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
This is the Light Electric Company, Arca Menards K&N Series, on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway as we continue to see Dustin Ping show the way. There he is on your screen, working around the bottom of this Kentucky Speedway. And as we say that, to officially unlap himself, there is Troy Radford. He has been the leader through the majority of this race, maybe the strongest car on the track right now. As you see, lap number 80 complete. Dustin Ping staying out there. Second place right now, Travis Smith. Doug Wysocki, who was involved in an early race incident, he's up to third. J.R. Hager, he looks like he very well could be the driver to take over the top spot once things start to shake out if we do not see a caution. By the way, it's been pretty calm this evening as far as cautions go here at Kentucky Speedway. These drivers have been putting on a really good show so far. We've had a few battles for the lead. J.R. Hager, Dustin German, and of course Troy Radford have been, for the most part, showing the way here at Kentucky. Is 82 laps now up on the board as we're wrapping up what would be, I would say, round 2 of green flag pit stops here from Kentucky. We do thank you for joining us as always, wherever you're watching from. I know we got the YouTube channel up. We appreciate you for watching here this evening. And, of course, always feel free to go over there and like the Turn 3 Racing Network on Facebook if you haven't done that yet. That's right. Go to the Facebook page and give us a like if you haven't done that. If you're interested in maybe getting into the series, hey, we'd love to have you. Find out Racing for a Cause on social media. There we go. Dustin Ping is in pit road. That is going to give the lead to this guy, J.R. Hager. He's going to go back out front and go back to the lead for the 3rd time today. That 28 machine is out front. And I'm looking down the list, and I don't know what might have happened to Troy Radford. I don't know if he might have had a pit road penalty, or he is mirrored all the way back in 22nd spot. Not sure if maybe a speeding penalty on pit road for Troy Radford, but nonetheless, J.R. Hager has command. You see the gap now back to 2nd. That 52 machine of Dustin German, he is in the 2nd spot as we have 84 in, cruising in on about 50 to go here from Kentucky Speedway. Not sure what happened to Troy Radford. Had to be some kind of issue on pit road because he is simply mirrored back in 22nd. Don't think he got off the racetrack. Do not think there was an incident of any kind. Nonetheless, some trouble there for one of the drivers that I felt like may have had one of the best runs of the evening. See if things will shake out and maybe possibly go back in his favor. But I've got to imagine if we stay green, it's going to be a really big uphill battle, especially for what this guy's been able to do. J.R. Hager's been pretty much solid as far as matching Radford lap for lap. There you go, back to your 2nd place now. Chris Mefford just got around Dustin German a few laps ago, so put Mefford into spot number 2 in that number 84 machine. Dustin German there right behind him in the Valvoline number 52, and then you have to go a little ways back there. It's Matthew McMeekin. He is in the 4th spot, and then, of course, rounding out the top 5, told you he wouldn't stay out of the picture very long. That is Katie Osmond in that 88 machine, just silently creeping around this Kentucky Speedway. I feel like each time we have a round of pit stops, he gets so much closer closing in. As what do you say we go up and check out the blimp cam high above the Kentucky Speedway. Of course, the driver on your screen, current points leader in the Light Electric Company ARCA Menards RFC NEXTGEN Series. That is Katie Osmond on your screen, working in that 5th spot. Love the look high above here at Kentucky Speedway, giving you a really good view of all of the great racing action. And right now, what has been a dominating performance for about 4 drivers up front. Unfortunately, it looks like possibly some error for Troy Radford may take away the opportunity for him to go to victory lane. Not sure what has happened. But that 49 machine, rather, back in the 22nd spot. In the meantime, the man of the hour right now is that guy right there. The 28 of J.R. Hager working around this Kentucky Speedway. There you see him going down the back straightaway. And he is actually coming up on the back bumper there as they dive off into turns 3 and 4. He's actually now coming up on Troy Radford. Actually the car that's right in front of him. So interesting to see how things will shake up here in the closing laps, I guess you could say, of this one as we approach lap 90. Right, lap number 90 getting ready to go on the board. It's going to leave us with about 45 laps to go here from Kentucky Speedway. But right now, J.R. Hager, the man of the hour now. How far back to his challenger? Right there. That is Chris Mefford. Mefford just ahead of Dustin German there in that Valvoline machine, but he's got all kinds of pressure. Here comes Matthew McMeekin, creeping towards possibly a podium finish here from Kentucky Speedway. Some of the other battles you see on your screen, there's a good one. This is, looks like the battle for Brian Littleton and Brandon Mefford. This is for 10th and 11th, so this is a battle to get into the top 10 as Mefford trying to get back into the top 10, and now he's going to go to the bottom and try to work underneath that 80 Michelob Ultra of Brian Littleton. Littleton out of Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and right there, here comes Brian Snare. Snare starting to creep into the picture as well. I've seen Mitchell Snare watching us on the YouTube broadcast. Congratulations to that young man. If you follow the RFC series, well, you know he was a big winner in the Throwback Series back on the 13th of this month. He picked up a win at Bristol in the Throwback Series, so congratulations to Mitchell Snare. Talked about that a little bit last week, man. This battle here, Brandon Mefford in 10th, Brian Littleton, and look at a host of cars. They're all working on the back bumper. This is a huge battle now. This is really, if you look ahead, this is for positions 7th all the way through 12th, all right here in this one gaggle of cars. So a big battle now as they work off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Maybe one of the biggest battles on the racetrack is this group right here. Roy Hyde washes up the racetrack. Brian Littleton's going to go to the bottom. Mitchell Snare is going to be there as well. As you see other drivers here in your view, that is Mescal Jr., Thomas Light, Brandon Mefford. That is 7th, 8th, and 9th on your screen as they work nose to tail down in turn 1 and 2. Not really seeing many of these drivers really force the issue on the high side of the racetrack. As Brandon Mefford's going to make a pass, he will. He'll dive underneath Mescal Jr. Make that pass. That is for 8th. So put Brandon Mefford up to 8th, and now he works on the back bumper of Thomas Light. Thomas Light there in that 98 machine. We talked about that Light Electric Company. Number 98 hasn't had the best of years. Been kind of an up and down year for that 98 machine, but be good to see him have some solid runs to close out the year. Another driver's having a solid run right there in that number 22 machine. That is Cody Terry. Cody Terry hammering down in that number 22 machine. Of course, he is out of the stables, the CT Motorsports stable. Good to see him reeling in Matthew McMeekin, and Terry now closing in possibly on the top 5 as Katie Osmond has just made the pass on Dustin German. But Katie Osmond in the top 3 now as we have lap 95 on the board. Getting ready to bring you into crunch time here from Kentucky. It's the Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series. Of course, we talked about earlier in the evening. Crunch time, big time for this series as we start to wind down the season. Phoenix next week, Texas, and then Kansas. You don't want to miss it. Final 3 races of the 2020 season. We'll be right here to take you through all of the racing action, of course, as we carry you all the way to the championship night in Kansas. There you see our points leader, Katie Osmond. Nope, not out front today. It's this guy right here, J.R. Hager. He has been the man with the plan this afternoon from Kentucky. Troy Radford, of course, we talked about his struggles. Not sure what happened to that 49 machine, but definitely something. Something happened just a few laps ago. J.R. Hager all up into the outside, almost into the inside fender of Damon Cox. Damon right now running in that 19th spot, trying to stay on the lead lap as we wind down. J.R. Hager trying to put him a lap down and nowhere for him to go. Love the fact that we got Damon Cox repping those Turn 3 Racing Network stickers on the back bumper. The Iron Man of the series has the most starts of anyone here in this series as he sees our leader go by, and J.R. Hager does just that. So right now, that's going to leave us with 18 cars on the lead lap, and unfortunately, the next car in his sights is the guy right there, Lance Yancey, second in points coming in this event. Not the night he wanted. Definitely not the night he wanted with, of course, points leader Katie Osmond running right now in the 3rd spot. As the camera pans back there to our leader, lap 99, as we are winding down the laps here from Kentucky Speedway. Don't go nowhere. We're ready to take you to the finish. Here, it's the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series from Kentucky Speedway. The final 35 laps coming up.
Defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his fourth win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 in North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
This is the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menards K&N Series. Live on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. There you see our leader. That is J.R. Hager showing the way. Laps starting to wind down here from Kentucky Speedway. J.R. Hager, of course, we've seen him out front. We've seen multiple drivers out front, and right now Hager is starting to work on the back bumper. Looks like he is going to put Tyler Hilton a lap down. Unfortunately, Tyler, we talked about that trouble. He had some electrical issues, which sent that 82 machine to the pit, and unfortunately, that's going to not really shake out his night. 27th right now as our leader works around him. You're wondering how the top 10 shakes out. Well, there you see the guy in charge. That is J.R. Hager. He's out front. Just a little bit back now to Chris Mefford. Mefford's starting to make up a ton of ground in a hurry here in this last stretch of laps. Katie Osmond, third place. There you see him. Working out of the third spot, Cody Terry back to fourth. What a run for this young man. He's had a solid night here at Kentucky. Excited to see what very well could shake out for him. Matthew McMeekin there, he is in the 5th spot as we start to see some drivers start to go on pit road as we're going through our top 10. There you see Katie Osmond and Brian Littleton on the pit road. This could be the stretch of pit stops that may take us to the finish. So we will see how quick we get our leaders on pit road as J.R. Hager now works in turns 3 and 4. It doesn't look like he's slowing down. He'll keep that 28 machine out on the racetrack to put lap 107 on the board right now. We'll let this round of green flag pit stop shake out, and then we'll go back through our lineup as you see that board up on the top shuffling with these drivers going to pit road. Cody Terry, Matthew McMeekin, Brian Snare, Mescal Jr., Brian Mescal Jr. all on pit road. Those drivers going to pit road now, and it looks like possibly our leader working to the bottom of the racetrack, and J.R. Hager will bring that leader car to the pit road. Hager's on pit road. He's going to give the lead to that guy, Chris Mefford. Mefford is going to cross the stripe 108 laps in of the 135 that make up the distance here this evening in the Lucky Finn Project 135. Want to thank the great folks. Of course, we mentioned earlier Chris Radford. Want to thank them, Ray and Chris Radford, for bringing on a great sponsor here for this event at Kentucky. You're hearing my voice. I'm glad to be with you. Glad to be hanging out with you this evening. Glad to see you folks on the YouTube channel. If you're looking for Darkside Dave going to be back with us, of course, next week. Right back here in the booth. Love working with that guy. One of the funnest guys in the business at what we do. Just makes things exciting as you see Chris Mefford there on pit road. Brandon Mefford, his teammate right behind him, which means it's going to put the lead back into the hands of Dustin Ping. Dustin Ping is going to be out front. Final round of green flag pit stops in what has been somewhat of a calm evening here from Kentucky. Dustin Ping, Travis Smith, Doug Wasaki, and Lance Yancey now your top four. Lance, you see him right there having somewhat an off night. I would say that. Had some trouble, went through the infield a little bit earlier, had an interesting first 5 laps to say the least. But right now, running in the 4th spot now. If you want to see things really get shaken up, a caution flag right now could be huge. As you see, 26 laps left, 26 laps. Lance Yancey could use that caution flag now and possibly salvage at least maybe a top 10 out of this if things would work out right. As you see our leader there, Dustin Ping, Brian Snare going around him. Brian Maskell Jr. making the pass too as they start to work around our leader, Dustin Ping. He shows the way. We're in the midst of going through these green flag pit stops. There you see him out front, second place, right behind him there in that pink and white machine. That is Travis Smith in the Mopar, number 9. 946 Designs. Love them. Check out their Facebook page. See all the great work they do. Him and Justin Walters do an amazing job on paint schemes and designs. Some of the cool guys in the business. We start to see some other folks coming to pit road. Looks like Lance Yancey's going to bring that 77 in, so he's going to make some pit stops. And in the meantime, Dustin Ping showing the way, trying to see how things are going to shake out when we wrap up these green flag pit stops. And from the way things are looking, looks like that man right there may very well be your leader when things shake out. That is Dustin German. Of course, Dustin tonight, fastest qualifier, set on the front row. Kind of got shuffled back in that first long green flag run. He's been in the top 5 most of the evening as far as the green flag side of things goes. But right now, looks like he very well could be the man back out front. As you see, here comes J.R. Hager. Man, this may shape up to be a good one. Right there's the top 2 cars on the racetrack as Hager. He's going to be all over the back bumper, and why not? Hager's going to go to the lead. J.R. Hager, I say go to the lead. He's going to take over the 4th spot because Dustin Ping, Travis Smith, and Doug Wasaki have not been to pit road yet. But there you see J.R. Hager just simply muscles around Dustin German for that 2nd spot. And here comes our points leader, Katie Osmond, the Ohio and Indiana Roofing number 88 Sundrop Chevrolet. He has worked his way back in, and he is starting to reel in our Dustin German, who is in the 5th spot. And there he goes. Katie Osmond to the bottom. Looks like he is going to now start to roll in and try to work down this guy, J.R. Hager, who shows the way with 22 circuits left here from Kentucky. Hager in that 28 machine coming into this evening. Might be a new name on the series. Yes, it is. Making his first start of the season. So you want to talk about maybe a home run in your very first at bat? Well, that might be what JR is in the process of doing, but he is going to be watching the rearview mirror. If he cannot get around this 82 of Tyler Hilton, he will do that. And J.R. Hager is going to put at least one car between him and Katie Osmond. Is coming to 20 laps to go. 20 laps to go. And I checked that, rather. I stand corrected. This is the 3rd career start in the career of J.R. Hager. 3rd career start. He does have one top 5 earlier this year, so I stand corrected. But now he finds himself closing down the laps. If you wondered where his competition is, right there. Katie Osmond, points leader, trying to reel in, and this may be the race that Katie could very well seal up that points lead, is once again putting another car between himself and Osmond. Hager now, and Hager looks like he's at least going to jump up into the third spot because we've got Travis Smith on pit road. Smith's going to come to pit road. That's going to put J.R. Hager into the third spot. We've got 19 to go. And now we're talking all this because these two seem to be the two that'll be going to the lead when we get our lead cars on pit road. This is currently your leader, Dustin Ping. Not really sure exactly how far he can stretch it, but there you see Ping has been on the racetrack in this set of tires for 34 laps. 4 more laps would be the most that he's put on these tires. Doug Wasaki in the second spot. I think he's went ahead and turned it left. Yes, he's went to pit road, so Doug Wasaki will give up the second spot. So now only Dustin Ping remains on the racetrack needing to pit, and once he comes in, the lead will be given back to J.R. Hager. Looks like we're starting to see Ping start to slow down. It looks like Dustin Ping will come to pit road. Ping's on pit road, so the battle for the lead now is going to be between J.R. Hager and Katie Osmond. Trying to see KD in that picture, and he's a little ways back. Yeah, J.R. Hager has opened up quite an impressive lead. Almost a 2-second advantage now for that 28 of J.R. Hager. He has been moving through the field pretty steadily. And I noticed this earlier. We went on board with him just so smooth. Take a listen and watch. Yeah, you don't see much movement at all, especially in the hands of Hager as he now starts to see these laps tick away. 120 in of the 135 that make up this race here this evening from Kentucky. If you're a fan of the series, then you know me and Dave talked a lot last week about this series. We're supposed to be at Myrtle Beach tonight, right? Well, some schedule changes has landed us here at Kentucky, and I tell you what, the way things are shaping out, there's one guy that is not going to complain that we have made our way to the Bluegrass State. And with 15 laps to go, it's this man right here, J.R. Hager, watching closely on the leaderboard, seeing if Katie Osmond can run him down. Actually, he is doing the total opposite. Katie Osmond now starting to fall back. Nearly a 3-second advantage now for our leader, J.R. Hager. Now all the way back there you see Katie Osmond, he's just now coming out of turn 4, and Hager is coming across the line. So that is the distance between the top two. Chris Mefford there in the 84 machine. He's in the third spot. And I'm going to say something about this guy again. Shout out to Cody Terry. Man, this car has been working around the racetrack. There you see him. Take a look at that telemetry. You can see him 167 and going up down the back straightaway. Shout out to the GBC CT Motorsports number 22 of Cody Terry. What a race he's had today. There you see right behind him, that is Jimmy Hetrick. So a solid run. Dustin Ping there closing in on the back bumper of that 48 machine. Ping trying to work around. I'm sure Ping was hoping there was about 20 more laps left because he's kind of inherited the lead the last couple of times we've had these long green flag runs. But I don't think we'll see the leaders come back to pit road. You take a look, 15 laps in. This is going to be roughly about 4 laps to their advantage from the last time they were on pit road. So I don't think we see any of our leaders come to pit road. I see we race it out. And right now, if it does so, this man has opened up now a 3-second gap to second place, and that is J.R. Hager showing the way. We do invite you to stay with us for the post-race show. We'll talk to our top 3 finishers and wrap up the racing action here this evening from Kentucky. We'll do that coming up in your post-race directly after the finish here from Kentucky Speedway. That is Travis Smith there in that number 9 machine. He's going to work around our leader, trying to put himself back on the lead lap. He will do so. So now 13 drivers on top of the board. As I see a change for second, Chris Mefford has driven around Katie Osmond and put the Falcon Motorsports number 84 machine into the runner-up. Pretty impressive run there from Mefford. Simply drives around KD in the 84 machine now with 10 laps to go. If anybody has ran down J.R. Hager this evening, it has been this 84 machine, but I just don't think he's going to have enough time. I don't think he's going to have enough time at all to be able to make a rally. With 11 laps to go, he's about 3.5 seconds back from this guy right here. So now single digits, 9 circuits left once we get the field across the line. And J.R. Hager may be looking at the first win of his career in only his third start. I made that comment earlier. His first start is actually his third start of the evening. Not a bad go for this young man in the 28 machine. This has been one of those, I would say this has been one of those impressive runs. He's been solid. We've seen some drivers this year just flat out go out and dominate. And once we got past the halfway point of this race, whatever the incident was that pushed Troy Radford way back in the field, whatever that incident was, definitely took away, I would say, JR's biggest challenger. Because Troy was able to pretty much run right there in the deck lids of J.R. Hager most of the night. And then, of course, J.R. watched Troy lead a majority of the laps in the opening half of this festivity race here in Kentucky, the Lucky Finn Project 135. Right now, the 28 machine showing the way. We'll take a look at your top 10. J.R. Hager out front. There you see Chris Memford in the second spot. Right behind him, K.D. Osmond in the 88. You have to go a ways back to get to our third place car, our fourth place car rather. That is Cody Terry in the 22. Dustin German thought maybe he would be able to ride the ship as we started this last green flag run in that 52 machine. Of course, fastest qualifier of the night. He is in the fifth spot. He's in all kinds of pressure. Here comes Brian Littleton trying to creep towards a top 5. He is currently sitting in the 7th spot. Then you go back there to Brandon Medford. He is in spot number 7. Brian Maskell Jr., good little rally for that 33 machine. He's going to hunt for a top 10. Brian Snare, there he is in the 9th place. He's under pressure from our 10th place driver. That is Roy Hyde. 7 laps to go. There is a look through at your top 10, but there is the man of the hour, the 28 of J.R. Hager, just holding down fort. He can do so for about 5.5 more laps. He's going to be going for the victory lane for the first time this year in the series. And he'll be the 13th different driver to go to victory lane if he can hang on, as Dustin Ping now works to unlap himself. You know, me and Dave have talked about that throughout the year. So impressive. So impressive to see all of the different winners we have had in 2020. Crazy to see the amount of winners that we've had compared to what we saw last year. Last year, somewhat, there was about 3 or 4 guys who just dominated the year, but we're talking about 13th different winner to go to victory lane in 2020. Crazy if J.R. Hager can hang on. You see 4 circuits left. We go high above the Kentucky Speedway. Take a look at the blimp mode there of that number 28 machine. Just exciting to see what he's been able to do this afternoon. That is for sure. Closing in on the finale of this one here from Kentucky. As you see him onto the front straightaway through the trioval and across the finish line. That is J.R. Hager. He has been the man of the hour. So far, the guy to watch in a dominating performance here from Kentucky Speedway. Medford now has made up a little ground, but just not enough time for that 84 machine. K.D. Osmond now in third. I was looking to see if maybe Cody Terry could be able to catch him. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen either without a little bit of help. But the top 4, almost 11 seconds ahead of Brian Littleton. And congratulations to Littleton. He has driven his way up into a top 5. But there is the man of the hour. Camera shines on that number 28 of J.R. Hager as he works down into turns 3 and 4. He has been dominant. He has been solid all afternoon long, and as he comes to the front straightaway, he sees the white flag. White flag, and for the final time around the Kentucky Speedway, the 28 machine of J.R. Hager took the lead early, relinquished the lead early in the race to Troy Radford. He watched Troy Radford pass him and lead the first, I would say, quarter of the race. Trouble for Radford, but no trouble for this guy. In his third start in the RFC, Light Electric Company ARCA Menards K&N Series, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, is going to be a big one as you see J.R. Hager come across the line and pick up the win in the Lucky Finn Project 135. Man, what a day he had. Chris Mefford there in second. Katie Osmond will round out the podium. Top four, Cody Terry. Great run for that 22 machining. Rounding out the top five there is Brian Littleton. But the man of the hour, there you see that 88 or the 28 machine of J.R. Hager. A little bit of loving there from Chris Mefford. Also going to get a little bump here from your points leader, Katie Osmond. Yeah, giving him a little shot in the shorts. What a way to get your first career win as he's going to come to the front straightaway, and we're going to get your winning moment here from Kentucky Speedway, the Light Electric Company ARCA Menards Series. Don't go anywhere. We have got post-race coverage coming up. We're going to talk with our top three finishers as we watch J.R. Hager for the first time in his RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menards Series go to victory lane and burn it up with some donuts here from Kentucky. Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway. It's the Light Electric Company RFC NEXTGEN Light Electric Company Series on a Sunday night. Well, we wrap things up here from Kentucky, and there you see the front straightaway, our top three finishers as we go into our post-race coverage here from Kentucky, rounding out the top three, a guy that, I would say coming into this event had a really good, comfortable feeling. The guy had a really good, comfortable feeling coming into this race as far as point series goes. And tonight, I will have to say, another comfortable night. Katie Osmond, man, I know the points is a big deal. Solid effort tonight. Really rallied. Had a not-so-great qualifying effort. You had to come from behind to be able to get into the top three, but you've done a pretty good job of it here at Kentucky.
Yeah, this was a really great night for points for sure. I think I gained 20 on Yancey there. Yeah, at the beginning though, with that qualifying, I just screwed up my second lap, so I had to stick with my first one, which was super slow. But I rallied from a 20th place starting place, I think, and I came all the way up to third, so I'm super happy with this.
Yeah, I made the comment during the race. It was just a quiet night for you. I mean, we didn't really get to talk about you until about the last 25 laps, and then you started to make a run. But, man, JR had a really solid car once he got out front tonight.
Yeah, JR just had a rocket ship. I knew I wasn't going to catch him, even with the progress I was making. On that last stop, I knew I was going to have to settle for third because Chris was on newer tires than me by a lap or two. So, I had to let him go. But yeah, I just, I was super methodical all night long just to get those positions back.
Well, man, we officially have 3 races remaining. We go to Phoenix next week, Texas, and then Kansas. Points-wise, you got to feel very comfortable the rest of the way. Do you focus on the points, or you go out and try to get victories from here on out?
Man, I think I've still got to balance them. I'm not free and clear yet. I think with 1 or 2 races to go, I might be able to say that. But, I think next week and the week after, I'm still going to be going for points, but also for the wins.
Katie Osmond, man, tell us about the folks on the side of that race car.
Yep, as always, my sponsor, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company. My teammates, Brian Snare had a top 10 tonight. That's awesome. My family for watching, thank you. Thank you to everyone in this league. I mean, it was an awesome race at Kentucky. I mean, going green is hard to do. We had that one caution at the beginning, but that was it. And thank you for broadcasting.
My pleasure, man. Congratulations. 3rd place effort tonight for Katie Osmond. Definitely good for his points battle. And the guy that finished second, a really good second place tonight. Chris, I felt like you had a really good race car. I would have liked to have seen maybe you be a little bit closer to JR there during the clutch, during the finale. But, man, you got to be happy to get things kind of straightened back out. Not been a great last, I'll say second half of the season, but a good way to get things going towards the end of the year with 3 races left.
Yeah, absolutely. The car was fast. Like I said, JR, Troy, and Tyler. Tyler had some connection issues. Those dudes were just checking out. They was stupid fast. But, yeah, at the beginning of the season, it was pretty hot. And then I had a miscue on one of the races, and it really took my shot of the points, and it seemed like the horseshoe finally came out of my butt. But it's good to rebound here the past 2 weeks, finishing second.
Man, you did have a really good car. We watched you stay in the top 5 most of the night. You take a look at the rest of this season: Phoenix, Texas, and Kansas. What do you think about those next 3 races?
Just about like every other race, gotta survive. These cars are fun. They can get loose early. Kansas is going to remind me a lot of this track. Phoenix, I'm okay at, and I wasn't sure the other one he says. Too long of a memory to remember. But no, it should be a good, fun season. I know Katie gained some points on the whole field tonight. He had a heck of a run going on. I can't remember where he started. I know he started, the back end of the field, and he charged way up there and finished third. That's a hell of a run by him for sure.
Well, Chris, before we let you go, we know you got a beautiful Falcon Motorsports number 84. Tell us about the folks on that race car.
Yep, absolutely. First and foremost, I'm going to shout out to my mom. She's a breast cancer survivor, and we know it's Breast Cancer Survivor Month. So, shout out to her. Shout out to Race for Riley Children's Hospital. They've done so much for my family. It's one of the top, easily one of the top children's hospitals in the world. Everything they do, and then said the Race for Riley, the John Andretti, helped build. It's just so awesome. A Brucey racewear. So if you got one of these Fanatec wheels, you want to keep it in good shape. Get a hold of Judd Danielson and a Brucey. He can hook you up with some good gloves. If you want some boots, he can hook you up there. Shout out to you, you guys for broadcasting. That's, I know it can't be. I couldn't do it. No way. Shout out to my teammates at Falcon Motorsports. They done like I said, Troy and Tyler. They was wicked fast. And so shout out to the competition for having a dang good race there.
Tonight's second place finisher. Good to see him get things back on track, Chris Mefford. All right, we go to victory lane now. We turn our attention to a guy that I would say had a dominating performance. Only his third career start in the RFC Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series, and the driver of the number 28, J.R. Hager. Man, congratulations, and what a way to put this car in victory lane in a dominating performance.
Yeah, woo! It's Kentucky, baby, right? I mean, I know they say it for Bristol, but why can't we say it for Kentucky, right, man? God, I love this track. I love it, love it, love it. I had 18 wins on the old Kentucky before they repaved it, and man, they didn't do anything to screw this place up. They made it 10 times better than what it used to be. This is awesome. Loved every bit about it. I hated for Troy, though, because I thought it was going to be a really good race between me and Troy Radford there. I don't know what happened to him. I just know that I didn't really see him again. After that, I don't know, it was like the second or third pit stop. He just kind of disappeared. I was worried about him, man. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about here in the booth. Wasn't really sure what happened to Troy, but ended up not having the night that he wanted. I think he might have rallied actually back to finish 17th. But once that kind of shook out, once we got past the halfway point of the race, man, once you got your car out front, you passed Dustin German there coming out on this last green flag run. You got around him, and you just didn't look back after that. Looked like the car got quicker. I think there for a moment you had about a 3-second advantage off Chris Mefford, maybe even almost a 4-second on Katie Osmond. You got to be pleased with the way this car drove tonight here at Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. This thing, handled like a dream. Felt like I was running on 9 cylinders instead of 8 to 9. I came out of the pits that second time, or that final time coming onto this final run, and I remember looking in my mirror and I saw KD right there. It's like, how the heck did he get up here? He just came out of nowhere. And if there's one guy in the field that I hate seeing in my mirror, especially whenever it comes down to a race like this, that'd be KD, because one, he's rock solid. If he gets in front of you, you ain't getting in front of him. So that was just awesome racing. I thought it was going to come down to me and him. I didn't even know I had a 3-second advantage on him. So that was, it's always awesome to be able to beat someone of his caliber. I look at him as like a Jeff Gordon or someone, somebody that's always cool to beat. So I'll make sure to let him, know about that next time I talk to him.
Well, man, congratulations. A lot of excitement in that 28 pit. Tell us about the people you got on the side of this race car.
Yeah, got to thank Sim Racing Merch. They've recently came on to Hammer Down Motorsports, and God, I can't thank them enough. They've just made life easy for all of us. They've improved my fashion. I've loved Sim Racing Merch's merchandise around here. They got awesome shirts, hats, coats, whatever you need, they got it, especially here for the winter weather. Couple of new things coming up. Excited about those. Can't thank Light Electrical Company, Thomas Light, Chuck Mobley, Mark Fires, all them, so much. I just, love being here at Hammer Down with all these guys. This became kind of like a family to me. I've loved talking to them, loved every bit about them. And can't wait to get in the car at Phoenix or Kansas next week. I have a pretty good shot at Kansas. I've got 30 racing wins at Kansas, so we'll try to make it 31.
A lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, and our 13th different winner of the 2020 season. First career win in this series, J.R. Hager. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Congratulations to another new winner. Hard to believe we have seen 13 different drivers go to victory lane in this series, and as that music cues up, that means it's time for us to close things up here from Kentucky Speedway. What a race it was. Man, what an exciting race. What a dominating finish there as we take a look at our results for the evening. There they are. J.R. Hager, he finishes at the point. First career win in the series, and does so with some impressive numbers behind him. Chris Mefford in that 84 machine second. Katie Osmond points leader, as you heard him talk about maybe a 20-point gain on Lance Yancey. That's going to put Lance, the way it looks, possibly more than 100 points back going into the final 3 races. He's going to have to be perfect. Katie's going to have some trouble in the final 3 races. Cody Terry, what a run for him. Inside the top 5 and 4th. Brian Littleton, 5th place tonight. Brandon Mefford, 6th. Dustin German, he is going to finish tonight in that 7th spot. Had a really good car early in this one. Brian Mescal Jr. rallied back for a top 10 in 8th. Roy Hyde in 9th. Brian Snare closes out our top 10. Thomas Light, good run for that 98 Light Electric Company machine in 11th. Travis Smith holds on for 12th. Derek Robinson in that 38 machine, he finishes 13th for HRL Motorsports. Dustin Ping in the 14th. Doug Wasaki, 15th, 1 lap down. That'll start the drivers that will finish 1 lap down. That'll be Jimmy Hetrick in the 48. Troy Radford with some kind of trouble during this race. Not sure exactly what the issue was. He's going to finish 17th. Damon Cox, 18th. Gordon Larson Jr. in the 01, 19th. Melvin Young, 2 laps down in his number 10 machine, will finish 20th. Rick Reiner in the 19 is going to finish 21st. Michael Masongill in his number 4, 22nd. Eric Blunt in his number 6. He is going to bring his car home in 23rd. Taking a look at your 24th spot finisher, it was Gary Ragland, 4 laps down in his 11th. Tyler Hilton had that electrical issue. He's going to round out the top 25 in 25th in his 82 machine. 77 of Lance Yancey. Unfortunately, trouble for him. Went behind the wall, 21 laps down, 26th place finish tonight. Not going to help his hunt for a championship at all. And there you see the closing lineup. Matthew McMeekin, Steve Baker, Brian Kaufman, Mark Byers, Darrell Ricketts, and unfortunately Ray Radford not able to get on the racetrack tonight in his 47 rather. He is going to finish the race in 32nd. Well, that puts a wrap on the action here from Kentucky. My name is Cody Early. Glad to be with you tonight. We have some great races still to come. Halloween weekend. Next weekend, Darkside Dave will be back. He'll take you through the action at Phoenix, then Texas, and then the 20th and final race of the year happens at Kansas. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here tonight with the Turn 3 Racing Network. We hope to see you next week as we have the RFC NEXTGEN Light Electric Company ARCA Menard Series right here on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. So long, everyone.